hopefully everyone is clued in as we have the 5 red lights on. And they're out here in Canada as we move away from the grid. Michael Louis leads us away in the field. Into turn 1, Michael Louis keeps the lead started on the hards, but tight clear on the inside. Going for the move now. As Zampa drops down to P4. In behind Kevin. We've got movement throughout the field. As Coldzilla trying to battle with the Red Bulls here as well. As there's a yellow flag around. Big crash. 3 drivers out. Massive crash. Lap 1 safety car. And that is Maynor, Scones and Stephen Beecham out. In behind Kevin.
Give me you
frick! Are you okay? That was a nasty hit. Turn the engine off.
Has avoided any damage. Meanwhile, Ty Clear
is closing rapidly.
Yeah, Ty Clear takes the lead on these mediums ahead of Michael Louis.
Bit of touching there into the hairpin with Aaron and Sci-Fi.
Bit of contact, bit of wheel buying in, and Aaron ghosted, which may open the door to Coldzilla as Cthulhu gets ahead of Addiction as well. Want a bit more contact between Sci-Fi and Aaron now. Aaron on the outside, lots of moving around here. And Aaron has to cut the chicane, so does Sci-Fi. Cuts the chicane. Addiction picks up a time penalty. There's battling everywhere here. As Addiction battling with Cthulhu. Zampa's picked up an early pen. Hopefully a lot of drivers here can take some inspiration for that. Meanwhile, the Red Bulls almost swapping positions now. Craig all over the rear of Zampa, who seemed to make a mistake out of the hairpin. And Dobo pressuring the Mercedes as well. Meanwhile, Kevin gets into the lead of the race down the back straight. Oh, but Kevin hits the wall of champions. And our championship leader into the wall of champions, and his front right M plate's gone. Meanwhile, Michael Louis having a lock on the rear of Kevin Craig. Oh no, Craig's been spun by Zampa! Zampa, what are you doing, man? Craig around at the hairpin. And Craig now all the way down to P10. Ty Clear loses out to Kevin. Dobo gets ahead of Zampa. As now the train has really formed. Zampa losing the rear. And Womax is into the wall! Womax is into the wall after a big mistake from Zampa. And somehow that's not a safety car, as Womax's front wing's completely gone. Oh no, there's another massive contact. Pneumatic and Aaron into the wall. A VSC out of the Aston Martin driver, but can he find a way through as Cthulhu picks up another time penalty? Ty Clear now on the inside of the Aston and gets ahead, but Michael Louis now into the rear of Cthulhu. Can Ty build a gap now with the Aston ahead of him? Cthulhu's going to let through Michael Louis, but there's loads of drivers swapping here, as Jimmy Dwyer losing loads of positions as well. Zampa now on the back of Cthulhu, and Zampa now into the hairpin, going to take P3 as a bit of contact with Cthulhu. As Kevin now looking for the switchback, trying to find a way through. As Dobo now side by side with Kevin, as they're going to go both ahead of Cthulhu if they can get it. Kevin now has to switch to the outside to try and get ahead of Cthulhu now. And Cthulhu going to come in to fix his front wing. Meanwhile, Jimmy Dwyer makes a big mistake, which opens the door to the lanky one getting ahead of him. Meanwhile, Dobo and Kevin now side by side into turn 1. And Dobo round the outside. Kevin backs out very late there. Meanwhile, Craig and Womack side by side. Contact here as well, as they both try and send it past Jimmy Dwyer. And Craig on the outside now if Jimmy Dwyer may get through, but Womack's there also defending from the Red Bull. Somehow also manage those mediums. Meanwhile, Addiction gets ahead of Jimmy Dwyer into the hairpin. The lanky one and Womack are side by side here. Meanwhile, Zampa gets ahead of Dobo. There's so many position swaps here as Womack filters in behind. And Craig picks up a time penalty here. So many position changes. The lanky one now on the inside of Kevin. Kevin defends that one off. Meanwhile, Dobo now lost the rear, trying to get ahead of Zampa, and that's opened the door to Kevin now. And Kevin gonna blow by the Mercedes driver into the final corner. When Kevin picks up a time penalty, we were just talking about how clean Kevin keeps it the majority of races. Meanwhile, there's almost a 3-wide moment into turn 1. Womack and Dobo side by side here. The lanky one wanted to get involved, but Dobo almost clipping the rear of Womack, which has opened the door to the lanky one, who might get through on the Aston, who just about keeps it ahead now, but there's now a 1.3 gap. The only drivers to keep it clean. Oh, is Dubsy and Addiction make contact into the final chicane. And I think Addiction's slowing up to let Dubsy back through again, because he realised he was in the wrong on that incident. And there's been no real dirty antics from the top two. Meanwhile, Zampa gets ahead of Kevin Cal. Womack picks up another time penalty, trying to get past the Alpine here. And Zampa and Womack, yeah, they're battling hard to get past Kevin, but won't have DRS. Meanwhile, Womack side by side with Zampa. Zampa's kept the nose in, and why has he? Because he spun the Aston into the wall. Heartbreak for the Aston, and it's a VSC.
Bro, there's no way!
Of Dobo and Dubsy, as well as there's a yellow flag out, pneumatics retired. And it is a safety car. That's massively going to help a lot of drivers here.
Zampa just went right into the back of Ty Clear there.
Zampa now on the inside of Ty. Sends it deep. Sends it very deep. Contact with the Ferrari. On Ty and Zampa, there's more contact. With Ty on the rear of the Mercedes. As Zampa now is he going to go for the move on Dobo. He is. Oh, and Ty gets damage into the rear of Dobo. And Dobo has to take the runoff. And this has been very unfortunate. Dobo going to lose out to Dubsy and Jimmy Dwyer as he rejoins the track after Ty Clear running into the rear. Of Dobo, and are now going to get ahead of Dobo potentially as Dobo picks up a time penalty. Dobo, who had a chance at a podium now, all the way down to P9. It is all unravelled in one lap. Meanwhile, Ty Clear now on the rear of Zampa, and he surely wants to get the Mercedes out of the way. What is he doing? What is he doing? Zampa turns in on Ty Clear. And Ty, with a chance at the win, was pushed into the wall.
What is he doing? What is he doing?
And you're absolutely right, Rio. Ty might still be able to get a podium now, and he's overtaken Dubsy into the chicane. And Ty chucks it in. And Ty now into P8 here on the penultimate lap. With all the drivers ahead with penalties, he still could get a podium despite all the carnage as Jimmy Dwyer... Oh no, Ty spun! And so is Dub behind, which has opened the door to Coldzilla now. And here in the penultimate lap, Coldzilla might be the driver who gets a podium. Absolute chaos. Ty picks up his first time penalty now here on the penultimate lap. And after keeping it clean so long, it's all gone wrong for the Ferrari driver through turn 2. Meanwhile, Arn going to get ahead of Zampa. Dobo now on the outside of Zampa as it's raining. Oh, and Dobo sends it in. So Dobo sends it far too late. Contact with Arn in the Haas. And why is it raining on the final lap here? As there's a yellow flag out. I think that's Creakery at the back. And as we charge here on the last lap, the rains come out. How much drama do you need in one race? It seems.
Oh my god.
We need more. Arn all over the rear of Dobo. Jimmy Dwyer picks up another time belly. Michael Louis has to skate round on the final lap here to try and win in Canada as Dubsy's out at the final corner. Dubsy! He's out at the final corner. He's made a mistake at the Wall of Champions. But here we are in the final lap. Kevin has 2 DRS zones to do it. Can he catch the Williams, or has the Williams been too quick for him? Of Kevin, he just needs to navigate the chicane and avoid any time penalties. Can he do it? As the rain gets heavier and heavier, Ty Clear's got up to 6th somehow. And Michael Louis has round the final corner, and he will win in Canada. What a win it is for Michael Louis. Meanwhile, Dobo and Craig in the Red Bulls battle to the line. Who will come across the line first here? As it's going to be a drag race to the line. Craig finishes on the podium here in Tier 2. Meanwhile, Ty Clear will cross the line into P5. Mega result there for Michael Louis. Zampa finishes P9. Meanwhile, Cthulhu making a big spin at the final corner. As Sci-Fi Mega Hype trying to finish ahead of the lanky one. As the lanky one's skating around the final corner. You can see how heavy the rain's come down this late. If we had another safety car, the end of this race would have been absolutely insane. And there you have it. Michael Louis wins for the 2nd time this season, moving himself up to 2nd in the championship. Holds the championship leader Kevin Cal at bay and closes up in the championship to his championship rival. Meanwhile, Craig picks up his first podium this season, reserving today. And let's have a look at what that has done to the standings. Michael Louis does make the jump up to P2, pushing Dobo down to P3 and Aaron down to P4. And next time out, we head to Texas. Can anyone put a stop on Kevin Cal's championship charge? I've been WHF. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.